If WW3 escalates to nuclear, your first 24 hours decide whether you get to day 2. These are 6 protocols to run immediately, in order, so you and your people have the best possible chance of surviving the initial blast, fallout, and the collapse of normal systems. I'm speaking as someone who's lived drills, built shelters, and helped neighbors organize under stress. This is not fear-mongering, it's method. Follow these protocols in sequence, keep your group disciplined, and treat every assumption as something to verify. Download the printable 24-hour protocol checklist in the description and keep it where the team can reach it. Protocol 1. Confirm and prioritize. The first 30 minutes after a flash siren or a sudden city-shaking boom are about information triage and choosing the right initial posture. Immediate actions, 10 minutes. Stop, breathe, and count what's around you. Is there a direct blast visible? Is there an official alert tone on your phone or radio? If you see a fireball or a luminous flash, assume a nuclear detonation occurred unless confirmed otherwise. Switch to at least 2 independent information sources. A battery-powered or crank emergency radio. No AA, emergency alerts. A secondary battery device with internet if still online. And trusted community check-ins. If those fail, neighbor reports can be useful but treat them as unverified. Announce one command to the household. Shelter posture now. This is life priority. Human safety and exposure minimization first. Property and vehicles can be replaced later. People cannot. If confirmed versus unconfirmed. If official channels confirm a nuclear event, immediately enact Protocol 2, shelter and shield. If no confirmation but visible signs exist, treat as confirmed until you can verify. Err on the side of sheltering. If you hear distant explosions without flash or report, treat as conventional large-scale attack. Still prioritize shelter and discipline until intel clears. Why this matters? Speed matters. Delays in getting to proper shielding expose you to radioactive particles and initial fallout clouds. Early decisions shape survival odds. Don't assume digital networks will stay up. Don't drive to seek confirmation unless it's the only way to reach a sheltered location within minutes. Don't call out your location on social media or public channels. Timeline overlay for Protocol 1, 0 to 10 minutes. Confirm with 2 sources. Order immediate shelter posture. 10 to 30 minutes. Evaluate whether shelter in place is feasible or emergency relocation is required for safety. Protocol 2, immediate shelter and shield. Minutes, 0 to 30. Where you go in the first handful of minutes saves hours of exposure. The principle is simple: mass and distance reduce exposure. Time spent under mass matters. Immediate actions, 0 to 5 minutes. Move to the innermost, lowest part of your structure. Basement is best. If no basement, choose a central interior room without outside walls or windows. Put as much dense material, couches, books, water jugs, between you and the outside as you can. Avoid the temptation to get in a car or rush to a public shelter without intel. Vehicles offer almost no shielding from fallout particles. What to do next? 30 minutes. If you are in a single-story house and a cellar is an option, go down now. If the only basement access requires passing an outside area, weigh exposure. Is the outside cloud visible? If it is, seal yourself in the best interior room immediately instead of risking a sweep outside. Bring essentials: keys, small grab bag, water bottles, a radio, flashlight, basic meds, and IDs. Keep it light. You need hands free to shelter. Branching: if you are outside when the event happens. If you are outdoors within a mile of a detonation. Find immediate shelter in the nearest sturdy building and get to its interior or basement. Remove outer clothing and secure it in a sealed bag where possible. It traps fallout. If you cannot reach shelter and are forced to move through fallout, shield your face, minimize steps, and get indoors quickly. Shower and change clothes as soon as you can. Why this matters? Fallout particles will drop fast near blast sites and linger in winds further out. Distance and dense material reduce dose. Every hour inside, proper shielding reduces cumulative exposure. Do not do. Don't go to the roof to look. Don't assume your car protects you. Don't spend time packing non-essential items that delay your movement to shelter. Timeline overlay for Protocol 2. 0, 5 minutes. Reach the best immediate shielding you can. 5, 30 minutes. Move deeper into the shelter. Place mass between you and exterior. Get settled. Protocol 3. Seal. Silence and discipline. Hour 00 to 3. Once you're in shelter, the focus shifts to keeping outside contamination out and avoiding behaviors that reveal your position. This is where OPSEC and contamination control merge. Immediate actions. 30 minutes after sheltering. Seal obvious gaps. Close interior doors between you and exterior walls. Use thick plastic or trash bags and tape to block drafts at windows and vents where safe. Don't create airtight conditions if someone inside needs oxygen. Use common sense. Moderation, not improvisation, is important. Turn off HVAC systems that pull outdoor air into the building. If you have separate room ventilation, close dampers and reduce fan cycles that bring outside air inside. Establish light discipline. No visible lights toward windows. Use blackout curtains or heavy blankets. If you must use a light, keep it directed inward and between people. Noise and signature discipline. Silence non-essential electronics that emit signals and sound, including Wi-Fi routers if they are visible to outsiders, and avoid broadcasting on public channels. Generators? Treat them as last resort. Running a generator early can produce heat, noise, and a scent trail. If you must use a generator, run it intermittently, buried as much as possible, and only for life-critical loads. Plan a strict run schedule and rotate to minimize exposure. Decontamination basics, non-technical. Keep an exit area for any person who must leave the shelter. A small buffer zone where outer clothing is removed and sealed. Hands and exposed skin wiped before re-entering common shelter areas. Use damp cloths, bottled water, and basic soap where available. If you have access to a shower, full decontamination is ideal as soon as it's safe to do so. Why this matters? Fallout is particulate. Reducing air exchange and keeping dust out lowers inhalation and ingestion risk. Discipline reduces the chance you're spotted by opportunistic groups. Don't open doors unnecessarily. Don't ventilate your shelter to let in fresh air, unless you have a safe window that is uncontaminated, and you absolutely need it. Don't run a noisy engine continuously in the early hours. Timeline overlay for Protocol 3. 1 hours. Seal major drafts, shut off exterior air intakes, establish blackout and noise discipline. 1 to 3 hours. Set decontamination spot, rotate limited ventilation if needed for health, maintain silence, and minimal movement. Protocol 4. OPSEC, caches and decoys, hours 12. Human threats will diverge into typologies. Opportunistic looters act fast in the first hours. Organized marauders may appear later with coordinated efforts. OPSEC and deception are force multipliers. Immediate actions, 0-3 hours. Mask signs of readiness. If you have visible supplies or a locked gate, make them appear ordinary. Remove or obscure visible solar panels, fuel drums, or stacked firewood that telegraph a stockpile. Activate hidden caches inside your shelter. If you pre-positioned water, food, or meds, transfer only what you need to immediate access areas. Keep the main cache concealed and known only to trusted members. Decoy strategy. Set a low-effort, high-visibility decoy stash away from your shelter's core. A small, conspicuous container with junk food, empty water bottles, or low-value items. An opportunistic searcher will be satisfied early and move on. Use signage and sound deterrence sparingly. A loudspeaker playback implying occupancy can help. So can simple signs that claim presence of hazards. But prioritize silence. Don't create patterns that trained adversaries can exploit. Behavioral OPSECs. Change routines. Avoid leaving in groups for visible tasks. When you must move outside, do so in low visibility hours and in small teams if possible. Limit information sharing to pre-arranged, trusted channels, and only to those on a need-to-know basis. No public posts, no photos, No location disclosure to strangers. Why this matters? Most human threats in the first day are small, opportunistic, and looking for quick wins. Deception and camouflage deflate their ROI. Organized groups will probe later. Being quiet and uninteresting is your best early defense. Don't broadcast your supplies on public forums. Don't confront strangers unless it's unavoidable. Don't burn large fires or run generators that create a beacon. Timeline overlay for Protocol 4. 03 hours. Hide visible signs of readiness. Activate internal caches, set decoy stashes. 3:12 hours. Sustain camo posture. Rotate hidden reserves. Assess threats and adjust deception measures. Protocol 5. Comms and coordination. Hours 0:24. Communication is vital, but in a nuclear event, every transmission is a potential signature. The goal is secure, minimal, reliable coordination with your group and trusted neighbors. Immediate actions, 0 to 3 hours. Move to prearranged comms modes and codes. If you have a group plan, switch to the emergency channel and use code words. If you don't, default to silence on public channels and rely on short, scheduled check-ins. Record roles. Who is medic? Who is watch leader? Who handles water and food? Who is the logistics runner? Keep the initial list short and centered on survival-critical tasks. Comms discipline. Use short pre-scripted messages and scheduled check-ins. Avoid transmitting descriptive information about your location or supplies. If a public system is compromised or jammed, switch to local, low-power means like handheld radios or in-person runners with masks and OPSEC discipline. Ham or CB can be useful, but only if you and your team have practiced secure procedures and use encryption or pre-arranged call signs. Never broadcast in plain language about your stash or capabilities. Watch rotation and mutual aid. Establish short watch shifts, 30 to 60 minutes, while the rest of the team rests. Rotations should keep the minimum number of people awake to do essential tasks. Pool resources with verified neighbors if trust exists. One strong community with shared watches and roles is more sustainable than isolated households. Why this matters? Comms maintain cohesion, prevent friendly fire errors, and allow coordinated rationing. Poor comms invite confusion and risky solo moves. Don't use public social media to coordinate. Don't invent new signals your team hasn't practiced. Don't assume strangers offering help are trustworthy without verification routines. Timeline overlay for Protocol 5. 03 hours. Move to secure comms and set roles. 3 to 12 hours. Establish watch rotations, regular short check-ins. 12 to 24 hours. Maintain comms discipline. Expand trusted coordination if safe. Protocol 6. Medical triage and movement decision matrix. Hours 3 to 24. Early medical triage prevents crises from spreading. Movement decisions must be rules-based, not emotional. Triage priorities immediate. Life over limb. Stop severe bleeding, ensure airway and breathing, treat shock. Use basic first aid. Don't improvise complex procedures beyond your training. Isolate anyone with heavy dust or suspected contamination. Remove outer layers carefully, seal them in a bag if possible, and keep the person separated until they can be dusted off or decontaminated. Radiation symptom awareness, non-technical. Symptoms of acute radiation sickness can be non-specific early on. Nausea, vomiting, weakness. Symptoms alone do not prove exposure severity. If someone shows concerning signs, isolate, provide fluids if tolerable, and keep them warm while seeking more information from official medical channels when available. Decision matrix for movement. A simple rule set. Stay if your shelter provides adequate shielding, basement or equivalent. You have at least 48 to 72 hours of basic supplies accessible, and your community watch is stable. Consider moving only if shelter is compromised by fire, water intrusion that threatens survival, or if you have clear, verifiable orders from official sources to evacuate to a safer location. Evacuate only after. Verifying safe routes via multiple sources, planning travel during low visibility hours to avoid crowds, traveling in small groups with practiced OPSEC, and avoiding main roads known to be congested. If movement is unavoidable, travel light, conceal your group, avoid major choke points and stagger movements to avoid attracting attention. Scout with 1 or 2 people only. Use back routes and natural cover when possible. Why this matters? Indiscriminate evacuation is one of the biggest early mistakes. Sheltering with good discipline can be safer than moving into unknown chaos. Don't decide to get to higher ground or leave because of panic or hearsay. Don't move in large visible groups unless absolutely necessary. Don't ignore minor injuries. They complicate everything if left untreated. Timeline overlay for Protocol 6. 3 to 6 hours. Triage and decontaminate priority patients. Isolate contamination. 6 to 12 hours. Reassess shelter viability and supply levels. 12 to 24 hours. Apply decision matrix to consider planned movement or continued sheltering. Human threat typology and how it alters responses. There are 3 broad archetypes you'll face early on. Opportunistic looters. These are individuals or small groups looking for the easiest, low-risk haul. They operate in the first hours and want quick returns. Your defense, decoys, camo, and sound dark noise discipline. Make your site look unworthy or empty. 2. Panic crowds. Frightened and disorganized people searching for supplies or safety. Avoid direct confrontation. If you engage, prioritize de-escalation and use trusted community ties where possible to redirect or assist without exposing your core shelter. To organize marauders. Coordinated, potentially armed groups that can cause long-term existential risk to a household or community. They show up later, with reconnaissance. Your defense, fortified concealment, community defense plans, and last resort escalation measures. Weapons framing, legally owned and deployed only as a last resort by trained individuals following local law. Emphasize avoidance, deterrence, and escape over engagement. Non-violent deterrents that work. Decoys and caches to send the early forager away. Visible but low-value signage. Contaminated area or hazard, do not enter. Signs can deter inexperienced intruders. Motion-triggered but silent alarms or cameras that feed to a secure device for verification without attracting attention. Use of recorded human voices indicating busy activity inside can dissuade probing. Again, use sparingly. Patterns are detectable. Community organization as a force multiplier. If you trust a few neighbors, pool strengths. One family handles water, another handles med supplies, one watches perimeter. Rotate responsibilities and keep the core plan lean. Share verified intel quietly. Prearranged meet points and mutual aid caches multiply options. Common mistakes to avoid across all protocols. Broadcasting your status or supplies publicly. Abandoning shelter too quickly. Running noisy equipment continuously in the first critical hours. Failing to establish roles and watch rotations. Sample 24-hour timeline. 0-24, 0 to 3 hours. Immediate confirmation. Rush to best available shelter. Seal major drafts. Set initial watch and comms. Activate quick decoys and internal caches. 3 to and 12 hours. Stabilize shelter environment. Implement rationing. Medical triage for injuries and decontamination. Maintain strict OPSEC. Rotate watches. Assess supply levels. 12 to 24 hours. Reassess long-term shelter viability. Consult verified intel for movement orders. Prepare for possible organized threats. Set longer watch schedules. Finalize decisions to evacuate or remain based on rules. A realistic timeline example for a household. 0-10 mins. Flash siren. Go to basement interior. Shut exterior doors. Get radio on. 10-60 mins. Seal window drafts. Set decon corner. Hide visible supplies. Start decoy. 1 to 3 hours. Rotate 2 45-minute watches, log issues, limit generator runs to 10 minutes every 2 to 3 hours if critical. 3 to 12 hours. Triage any sick or hurt, conserve water and food, check for trusted neighbor signals. 12 to 24 hours. Decision point. If supplies allow and shelter is secure, stay put. If not, plan discreet movement only under verified evac orders. Final thoughts and ethical framing. Your aim in the first 24 hours is to buy time, protect people from exposure, and avoid becoming a target. Discipline beats heroics. OPSEC is not paranoia, it's practical survival. Deception, discipline, compact comms, and community trust multiply your options. Weapons or force are last resort tools and come with legal and moral responsibilities. Prioritize, hide, blend, and evade. Closing. Repeat the 6 protocols. 1. Confirm and prioritize. 2. Immediate shelter and shield. 3. Seal. Silence and discipline. 4. OPSEC. Caches and decoys. 5. Comms and coordination. 6. Medical triage and movement decision matrix. If you run these protocols in order and practice them ahead of time, you convert panic into procedure. Training, checklists, and simple roles save lives. Get the printable 24-hour protocol checklist in the description and rehearse it with your household this week. Subscribe and join the community for full protocol sheets, drill templates, and a private space to share verified readiness plans. Practice the sequence until it's muscle memory. Panic will never win against a practiced plan.